when they built the house and moved out, and then we moved to Oklahoma City not terribly
Yeah.
long after that.
We didn't
And I never
stay-
saw them again, except I think once or twice when we went back to Sapulpa.
I never did keep in touch with them.
I think I only went to their new house once. But wasn't that funny? That she would get
I
somebody to
remember when she invited us over, and the daughter, Melinda,
Mhm.
she kept saying to her mother, "When are they going home? When are they going home?" So I quickly, as soon as we could, they had invited us to come.
Mhm.
I said, got a busy schedule, we better move on. And you've got a good afternoon, and maybe Melinda can get a good nap, and we'll talk later. But she sat there and asked her mother the whole time, when are they going to go? When are they leaving? Didn't she also have a son?
Now I don't remember the son.
I
Yes.
think they did.
Yes.
Was he younger?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember his name. Maybe Stephen, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they had a son. I remember that they visited in Colorado a lot
Is that where their
with
family
another
was?
doctor.
Is that where their family was out there?
I don't know whether it was their family or what, but it was someplace that they went often was Colorado. But she didn't stay connected with me anymore after they moved. I know she brought a lot of sewing over for me to do, hem dresses and things like that when she lived across the street.
You used to go out and pick strawberries.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember doing that?
What?
Do you remember going out and picking strawberries in the
yes,
summer?
got the awfulest sunburn. Ooh, that I ever had. And then Aunt Mattie had invited us to come for some special school thing, and I had that awful sunburn. Oh, I could hardly stand my clothes. Had to go out there. When any mother always made sure that if they invited us that we would show up. If they invite you, you show up. So we did. They were kind of, the older people in the families didn't get as involved with their grandchildren
Mm-hmm.
as they do now. They really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think.
Did that change with your generation?
I guess we started including the family and everything.
I'm gonna toss out these french fries.
Okay.
He's going to do what?
He's throwing away the rest of the french fries.
Oh, okay. With us living in Sapulpa, we were limited to an awful lot of things, and that's why I would try to get you all involved in activities that I could take you to Tulsa that we could participate in, because I thought you needed a wide range of things rather than be so limited.
Mm-hmm.
I know the little girl that lived around the corner from us,
Linda Dobbs.
Dobbs. Anyway, her mother got kind of ticked off at me because I was taking you to things, and she wanted me to take Linda too. And I said, and that was when my mother was staying and helping Marion, as they had a piece of property and they were renting these
The motel.
motels, yeah. And sometimes we would spend the night. And I said, I can't take on that responsibility because I never know what we're going to be doing. She didn't like it.
Tell me about the rose garden Daddy planted in the big backyard.
Well, because we couldn't afford to buy a whole lot of stuff, I told him, well, you know, why can't we alterate and put one back a little ways and then have it over, because we couldn't spread it all out. I said, that way we could get it on, but I guess it really didn't work real well.
Really? I thought you liked your roses.
Well, it was nice, but it wasn't exactly like I thought it would work. Your daddy didn't fuss at me about making a mistake or anything like that. He was always kind. He was good. I remember when we had so much yard to keep. Woo!
Which house?
They're on
Poplar.
Poplar. We had a backyard way back there, and it would grow up, and then we had the front yard. To the back of the house, the front yard,
Uh-huh.
and then we had the front yard out front.
Uh-huh.
But of course, it wasn't as deep. It was pretty close to the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, honey?
Okay.
You
We're
remember
just
the-
rattling off over
We're
here.
doing-
You remember the pets we had growing up?
Do I remember? We had cats. We had,
and there's Snick Fritz.
huh? We had a
Snickle
dog.
Fritz.
Snickle Fritz was
Grandma's.
That was
Grandma's dog.
Grandma's dog, Snickle Fritz.
Was the cat's name Muffin?
yes. She'd show up every spring pregnant. She didn't live with us during the winter,
We had,
and we had Bubbles then. And you remember Bubbles taking care of the kittens, trying to keep them all in the box. That was hard work on that little dog.
had to be Mama and Daddy both.
Yeah, she tried to keep track of all of them. And you remember I had a rabbit,
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
and we had a horse.
Mm-hmm.
We'd bring the horse in town and put it in the backyard.
Uh-huh.
Joella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to take riding lessons. I didn't get to take riding lessons. But I had a horse.
Yes, you did.
And I
So
got to
did I.
clean the stall.
Your horse was Coco.
Uh-huh.
And mine was Jetstar.
Uh-huh, and I got to clean the stall.
Yeah.
Then I got a boyfriend.
Had him clean it.
No.
Gave up horses.
You and Mike started dating when you were 16?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Were his parents fond of you?
Well, gosh, I hope so.
Well, I just wondered if they...
I think they liked me.
Uh-huh. They should have.
His mom was my Sunday school teacher.
Mm-hmm. She's still teaching Sunday school.
She sure is. How did you learn how to make lemon meringue pie?
Oh goodness, I don't know, Janet. From my mother. My mother made the best lemon pies. All kinds of pies. She was a pie maker. She wasn't a big cake maker. She made pies.
People don't make pie like they used to.
Huh?
People don't make pie like they used to.
She really liked to make pies. Well, she could crimp that edging perfect all the time.
Well, yours always look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mama was a whiz. She just
Did your
did
mom make candy? You made candy all the time when we were growing up. Did your mom make candy?
it. No.
No, that was you. You learned to make candy. Grandma Herman made candy.
Yeah, she did. She used to have lovely parties at her house. I would go
Vera?
help her. Uh-huh. What were the name of those clubs?
BPW.
Star and
BPW.
DAR.
BPW. Business and Professional Women.
Mm-hmm.
She had 4 or 5 different clubs that she entertained in a year's time, at different times.
Mm-hmm.
I would help her with those things. But I went to the Baptist church and then went to the Presbyterian church.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that work out?
Well,
I went to both.
it just, we didn't have any fusses or anything about it. Your daddy would pick up one and then he'd pick up the other. Didn't want to make anybody mad. Until he put his foot down, because his mother always came to eat with us on Sunday, and I would have to hurry home and get lunch ready and everything, because she had to go play
Canasta.
canasta down at, what was the people's name?
Opal Hillwell.
Opal, yeah. She had to be there at a certain time and everything. Well, it went along all right for a while, and then your daddy all of a sudden said, "This is not fair. You shouldn't have to hurry home and cook and everything, and Mother just come and eat and then go to Opal's, have to get her down there. No, we're not going to do this anymore." It ticked her off for a while, but she finally straightened up. He just didn't think that was fair, and it wasn't. Because she would come and eat and then jump up and run, and he would have to get us both fixed. And I would clean up and take care of you kids and what have you, so. He just said, "Nope, we're not doing this anymore." He didn't buck his mother very often, but there were times that he did. He was always very kind to her. And because she had been a sick child all of her life, and they had catered to her, she was always boss of everything. You can't do such and such, so we have to let her have her way.
What was she sick with?
I think it was some kind of breathing
Asthma?
asthma. And she let the cat out of the box. one time we were sitting around and she would say, well, boy, when I want to have my way, I can just go jump up and down several times in the kitchen and I can bring on a spell. And I thought, now the cat's out of the bag. Now we know what happens. But I thought that was so funny. Just go in the kitchen and jump up and down a few times and I can wheeze a whole lot. Have my way.
Did she do that very often?
She managed everything. And her husband let her. He wasn't successful in business. She put him in business several times and he wasn't successful. She just kind of ruled the roost. Well, a lot of times businesses, location and what have you, and everything have such a bearing, you can't tell whether it's going to go well or not.
Right. What kind of business did she start for him?
Well, air conditioning was one.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Didn't know.
And then one was, had to do,
Well, she
With-
was part owner in a movie theater downtown.
yeah. Yeah,
She owned the
they
building.
owned,
Yeah,
they owned,
property.
and then it burnt down,
Mm-hmm,
and they didn't have it insured for very much,
mm-hmm.
and so we lost money like crazy. She had given me that I could rent the rooms above the theater. And then it burnt down, so I didn't get to have that job anymore.
What theater?
Uh-huh,
The Yale.
Yale Theater.
They owned that?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then
They owned the
because
building. They didn't manage
a
it.
connection with, I've forgotten, Jimmy Zarludas, I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
Was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, had something to do with the other theater.
Uh-huh.
And so we were kind of in cahoots on that, somewhat.
Was that the Criterion?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't remember the name of that one.
You didn't remember it?
Criterion, I didn't remember that one.
Mhm. That was the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Yale was the
Yale was
small.
the smaller one.
Small.
Criterion was still there when we moved back up there.
Yeah, we only had to pay the tax on the ticket.
Mhm.
We didn't have to buy a ticket, but we had to pay the tax. Cost a dime to go to the movies.
Oh, and your daddy loved movies. Oh, he went to every one of them. He loved the movie theater.
Wonder why that was.
I don't know. He just did love movies.
I remember he liked to remember poetry. He had several different poems that he liked to recite. When did he start liking poetry? What made him like poetry? Was that in high school that
Probably.
he had to memorize poetry?
Probably. We had one teacher. She was single, and she was pretty bossy about everything, but she always gave in to the boys, and she made everything real hard on the girls. And I mean, the boys just ate her up. I mean, they could get their way with her. But boy, she made it hard on the girls.
Uh-oh.
Teachers were funny in those days.
Tell me about going to OU football games.
Well, I went to a game with your daddy, and that was when you had to stand in line on the outside, and they just had a certain allotment for the students sitting out there. And so you had to go and stand in line for hours to make sure you could get in. And it was very limited how many they would allow to sit in that area. And so you had to be sure that you had to go mark your spot. And I know, I guess, the week before you were born, I had been to the football game. Well, I guess it was on Saturday I went to the football game, and you were born Sunday evening. Or early Monday morning. And I went with a sunburn to the hospital. But I was real healthy. Went in there, that was when they let you stay for 2 weeks. You could stay until you were feeling good. And I know this one girl came in and they were bringing the babies in, and they had so many babies they had to take all the furniture out of other rooms and take the drawers out to put the babies in it because they had so many babies. And this one woman came in, and this was her 5th child, and she said, I'm in here for 2 weeks. I love my baby, but don't bring it. I want to have peace and quiet for 2 weeks before I have to go home. She had 4 more at home.
Did I get a baby bed or did I get a drawer?
A drawer. You were right there. Things were crazy. That was in Norman, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Then what was it like when you brought her home from the hospital?
Let's see if I can remember.
Wasn't I just a wonderful little baby? I slept and never cried.
No, you had you just cried all the time. You were born with it, and it took 3 months to get it out of you before everybody loved you. They walked the floor with you, but they didn't love you. Oh, we had everybody walking the floor. Kelly and Midge. All of them came and walked the floor with you. We had somebody there from, I guess, about 7 o'clock in the evening till about midnight, walking the floor with Diane. We didn't have that trouble with you, Janet. I don't know why. It was probably the first babies. You were not
Nervous.
knowing what to do and how you
Uh-huh.
felt and
Uh-huh.
everything, and probably made the baby so nervous. That's why they
Yeah,
were that way.
yeah. But Diane was smart.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she learned to talk early. And the neighbors would always give her these big names from different counties and what have you. Diane, where does old Bill Murray live? Tishomingo. They would teach you all the names of these people, and you would answer right back. You remembered them all. You were just a little
That's why you did so well. in
live wire.
languages.
I was always so what?
A live wire.
Oh.
You just entertained everybody. So they gave you something to keep you busy. And Janet was the sweet, quiet one. And she didn't give us any colic or anything. She
You have
was
to watch
a
those
baby.
quiet ones. You have to watch those quiet ones. But I didn't ever want to leave home.
No. No, she tried to stay at Grandma's and she couldn't stay. Grandma would call and say, Janet's got to come home. So I'd turn the light on and go out and meet her. Only lived two houses apart. It took her a long time before she would leave home.
You have to watch those quiet ones. What about Diane's red shoes? I love that story.
Diane's red shoes.
Didn't she have
Oh,
Kind of red
yes.
sandals.
Yes, we bought those red shoes, and you wanted to sleep in them. I said, no, honey, you can't sleep with your shoes on. It'd be hard on your feet. No, I want to sleep on the shoes. I should have let you sleep with your shoes. Forget it. I got smarter as I got older, Diane. I'm sorry.
Yep, there
Made
are
you
battles
cry.
to fight and some not worth it.
I tell you what, and then made you cry. You didn't get to sleep with your shoes on. And Carl came along, and he was our traveling baby. He got in that little, what did they call it? A baby
Bassinet?
thing that you had in your car.
Yes.
Car
Car bed.
Car bed, yeah,
Uh-huh.
car bed. And he lived in a car bed for about 9 months. We traveled all the time, back and forth to Oklahoma City and then back home and down to, and then, I don't know why we went to Norman a lot, but we did.
Football.
And anyway, we had Carl, and he was in his little box.
Drawers and boxes. Well, where did you put me?
Well, you girls just sat on the seats.
I have your
have
bed.
We didn't.
You have my bed?
I have your bed.
Oh.
I have the porta crib.
Oh, wow.
But you know, we didn't fasten you all in or tie you down or anything, and you lived all right
In the cars?
in the cars. Yes. Had to make you sit far enough away that you couldn't touch each other. don't let Diane touch me.
She's crossing the line. Don't cross the line.
And so then we made Carl sit in the middle.
I was the line.
So you couldn't pick on him. He was the baby. Don't pick on the baby.
Oh, I bet we never did that.
You were ornery. Ornery little girls.
Us?
Oh, yes.
I thought we were pretty good.
Well,
I thought we were pretty well behaved.
most of the time. But you had your ornery times. You had to be normal. If you were so good all the time, you wouldn't have been normal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your bed is illegal. The slats are too far apart. But I've got it. She gave it to me when Lindsay was born.
Mm-hmm.
Billy brought it in the car. And we had a
I
porta
don't
crib.
even remember that.
Uh-huh.
I do not. Why did we have it? For Carl?
You had kept it all along, and I think you used it. I think it was Carl's playpen,
Oh,
but you still had it.
well, I'll be.
And
I don't
what you told
remember.
me was that was the only bed that Janet ever had. She never had a full-size crib. She just had the porta crib.
Uh-huh. Put her in a big girl's bed. Made you grow up. Life was tough.
Yeah.
You didn't have an easy time of it.
No.
No. But we got to go to the library a lot because you
Yes,
like to
we
go,
Yes, we did.
and it was free.
Well, we'd go more than once a week, cause we were both very, very
Oh, you love
voracious
to read.
readers,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
You love to read,
Jan's
And it
still
was-
reading kids' books.
and it's
I don't
And
read
it's
comic
still-
books.
the library was your favorite place to visit.
I wanna take and scan all the pictures in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a real nice scanner that I've actually started scanning a lot of my old pictures. I think I'm about half done with all my old pictures. And you can do multiple at a time and it separates them into separate images. Does a real nice job. But they just came out with something called the iScanner, I think, for the iPad. You sit your iPad down in and then you just put the photo in there and you see the photo come up inside the iPad almost like it's just scanning
that's
it in
cool.
and then it's big. It looks higher resolution than the original picture. It is really cool. It's
How much
simple.
is one of those gizmos?
That's what's going to put Janet we need to look at. That you're using the...
I'm using your iPad. We're recording you, Mom.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You can give her a break for a minute if you want.